50 years after the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote a series of 7 Harry Potter fan fiction novels. This is book 3 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Commentors from Kazkaban. Hello, Amores, everyone. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. Sam Garlips here.
I'm here. I'm still here.
Still here.
And I've been here since last week, to be honest. I've been waiting.
Yeah,
I've been waiting. I've been
sleeping on the couch.
waiting. I've been sleeping on your couch.
Yeah.
It looks great right now. It's covered in I walk in here, I place all my things around your apartment.
Yeah, you do actually.
And I make it like it's
You're very scattered.
I am. It's like a little. So then it's like a little scavenger hunt before I leave. Like my keys are on one bit, my jacket somewhere else.
Yeah.
I put my coffee somewhere on another table.
Yeah, you always leave your coffee here, by the way.
I do.
Every time at the end of the day when I do my little tidy up, I'm like, oh, Sam's left his coffee
But
here
sometimes I say, "Oh, my coffee," and you go, "Oh, I just let."
Oh, yeah, no, just it's not an issue. It's not an issue. It's not an issue.
I feel like it's an issue.
Producer Pat used to come over and he'd buy like a full lunch and stuff and he'd leave all the packaging.
No.
Yeah, he would. I was like, Pat, you can take there's 3 empty plastic containers here.
Oh, this has nothing. This is similar to that, but it's just a gripe I still have with someone. I'm not one to hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was 6 years ago. On the way back from I offered to drive someone home from footy. Actually, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was far away. I was going to drive one guy home already, and then I was like, oh God, I'll take this bloke who's a bit of a nuffy from my club. And
Yeah. And
Anyway.
where were they all going? Similar areas?
Similar, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're going from Essendon back to Southside.
Yeah.
So, anyway, really tough footy game. We get to I go fill up petrol first. No one offers to pay.
Oh,
That's fine.
Offer $5.
But I even go in and I say, anyone want a Gatorade?
Oh, that's a lot.
Anyone want a Gatorade? I'm having 2 myself. Do you want?
To rehydrate.
And I went to this guy. Let's just call him Ethan. I said, do you want one, mate? He goes, no. I'm like, because I'm having 2.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I get in the car. I chuck one of the Gatorades in the back. Drink my other one. I finally drop him off.
Do not tell me.
He gets out, and then I go to drive away, and I look in the back of the car to get my other Gatorade. Empty Gatorade bottle.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
That infuriates me.
And I said the other guy. I guess maybe I didn't know him that well. The other guy said he's drinking my Gatorade. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, what? Well, he said he didn't want one. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, look, that was for me.
Yeah.
I had 2 for me.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's left the rubbish in my car.
And he also didn't say, hey, do you mind if I have it actually? I'm feeling a bit dehydrated.
Drank the whole thing, then left it in there.
Because you're a generous guy. If he had changed his mind and said, hey, I'm feeling really a bit woozy, can I have it? You'd be like, yeah, go for it, mate. No stress.
Actually, I'm remembering now because I think that I was trying to give this guy, and he there's a few things he'd done that had a little bit got on my nerves over the year, but I was like, you know what? I've really got to keep giving this guy a chance. And this was the thing that flipped me to the other side of like, you know what?
It's over.
Yeah, you can't take it and then leave the rubbish as well.
Oh, no. Hide the evidence.
Oh, my God.
Because maybe if he had taken the empty bottle, there could have been at least a slither of doubt in your mind of like, did I get the other one? Did I leave it on the roof?
What happened there?
What's gone?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then it was just funny that the other guy in the passenger seat just didn't really kind of get what had happened. I was like, this is huge.
That's a huge And did he stay? Oh, he was in the passenger seat, front seat?
There was the guy who I liked a bit more was in the passenger seat, and the other guy was in the back seat. So he just sneakily drank it, left it on the floor.
And so did the guy in the back seat after the first guy left, come into the front seat, or did you chauffeur him?
No, sorry. No. The guy who drank the Gatorade was in the back seat and got out of the back seat.
Sorry. Yes, there's a bit of confusion.
And you know what? It was when they just brought out strawberry Gatorade with Scott Pendlebury on the front, and I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And look what happened.
Look what bloody happened. I can't believe I'm talking about that.
It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where they're like auditioning people for the pilot they're making, and the guy comes in and there's raisins on the table.
Yeah.
He does his audition for Kramer, and then when he leaves, he shakes hands with everyone and takes the raisins. And then he comes back for a callback, and George is like, when you came in, there were raisins on the table. What happened with those?
Yeah. Exactly. Because it seems everyone, I don't know why this is stuck with me, but everyone I tell is like, yeah, all right. Like, it's not that.
No, that would infuriate me.
It seems insignificant.
Yeah.
But that's why it's significant. It's like when people, it's like people take notice of how people treat like the wait staff or the service staff. Yeah, that seems insignificant, but it is significant.
Yes. No, I am totally on Team Sam with this one. How did we even get on to that?
Don't know. Well, but
also, you can, if you want more of general chit chat, we did a great 10 minutes on Patreon, patreon.com/Harry Potter and Boys. Sign up at the Muggle or the Witch/Wizard tier, whatever you want. Shoot us a couple bucks if you enjoy this pod each week.
Yeah, absolutely. We get into a bit of goss there as well.
Oh, lots of goss. Some goss that we have to delete from the pod.
That is unfortunate. Unfortunate. There's some like legally, it would just be bad if we kept that anywhere.
Yeah, there's some stuff you just can't say on record because people, even if it's behind a paywall.
Yeah, because it's inappropriate.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
Not really. Well, I was just going to go into just what your news of the week, or do you want to go into something Harry Potter-y?
We went down to Traralgon on Sunday to visit Claire's grandparents.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it was great. I loved it. It was delightful.
Yeah.
We had a really lovely time. She showed me around, like, this is where we used to live. They had a massive house in Traralgon,
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you that much.
How far?
2 hours out of Melbourne.
2 hours out of Melbourne.
By car.
Like north ways?
East, I think. Yeah, out east. It was good. We had a lovely time. We went down with her parents all in one car. So we chatted.
Wow.
We chatted a bit about you.
Wow.
Which was great. They love you. They want to meet you.
Yeah.
They're
They want me to date
Claire.
Well, so in 2 hours, so I imagine I would have come up at like 1 hour 55.
No, you
came
up. You came up because I have. This is a good little chat. I have been getting really into the TV show Gruen, which is Will Anderson's TV show on the ABC. Yeah. Worked with Will for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Never watched Gruen.
Did you tell him the milk story? Did you tell him?
Have we told that on this show before?
I don't know. Probably. It's one of my favourite stories. Even though it doesn't go anywhere.
Do you want me to tell it?
Do you want me to tell it?
You tell it.
No, you tell it.
Okay, I'll tell it. So
it's not that. It is.
It's just an interesting thing that happened when I was like 22. I first started working for Will, and we were working on his podcast Willosophy, and we would record it at his house. At this point, I used to go to his house, and so would the guests, and we'd record it. And one morning, as I was like driving into Will's house, I just got a text from him saying, "Hey mate, could you pick up some milk?"
And like, it's at a point where you don't know him that well.
No, yeah.
You're just the producer at this. You don't.
Yeah,
I was like, is this a joke? And like, your job is just like press buttons.
Yeah, and I was very new to the job.
And you're like, Will's a comedian.
Yeah, but so anyway, I got milk. And I got there and I was like, hey, here's the milk. And I think, the reason he wanted the milk was because he wanted to make tea for like a cup of tea for him and the guest and myself. And that's great. Yeah. But I think it was just confusing. And like, even in my mind, because I obviously wasn't making much money, still don't. I'm actually still on the same pay as back then. Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it?
But I was like, like, is Will going to transfer me the $4? And I didn't want to bring it up. And then when I left, he was like, by the way, thanks for getting the milk. I was like, all good, mate. No worries. So,
and am I making this part up in my mind? You're at the front door saying, I think maybe I'm making this up, saying goodbye. And he's saying thanks for the milk. And at the front door, he's got like a key bowl that's like full of coins.
No, that's not.
Is that made up? That should be part of this. I know
that's made up.
But he's got well, you know what? If you turn this into a stand-up bit, Or if when you're on a talk show, you should lie and say,
I know Will Anderson. Here's my best Will.
Why have I've made that up in the story that you're standing next to like a key bowl with coins in it.
No.
Full of gold coins.
No.
I think
you've definitely inserted that.
Well,
that's not true.
That could be true.
It could be true. But anyway, so you came up because I've been getting really into Gruen, and I said to Claire's parents, like, because I'm always trying to impress Claire's parents. You know, I think they like me, but I'm always just trying to be like, oh yes, I was like, do you guys watch Gruen? Because that feels like an intelligent show. You know, it's all about advertising. They're like, yeah, we used to. We don't much anymore. And I'm like, oh yeah, just because, you know, I was watching it and they were talking about this and we were just sort of chatting. And then, you know, Claire's mum goes, oh yeah, Will's stand-up show you said was really good. I was like, yeah, one of the best shows I've ever seen at the festival. And then they're like, oh yeah, did you see many shows? I'm like, not really, but I did see my friend Sam's show 4 times and it was great. And Claire was like, it was so funny. It was just like, you should come next year, guys. Sam's really great. And then she went on to tell the story about the song that one of the songs you sung about loud cars, and they loved it. So,
great.
Well,
that is nice.
What a journey.
Wow. I'm hoping, because I was really thinking when, you know, did you run out of things to say at 1 hour 50? Or was this the handbrake goes off, you leave, you're driving out minute 2?
Oh no, it wasn't minute 2.
Okay.
Minute 2, I feel like, you know, because we all knew we were in the car for 2 hours.
Melbourne.
Yeah, it was a bit of that.
So I wonder where we get out. Yeah.
I actually have
really opens up when you get out of the city, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, now we can speed up a bit. Yeah.
It wasn't exactly a commentary, but sometimes actually in a 4-person car setup, particularly when it's like a couple in the front, a couple in the back, if it's 2 hours, there are times where you're kind of breaking off into your own little quiet conversation.
Yeah,
so, you know, it would go quiet in the group, and then I'd go to sort of Claire would be driving, I'd be like, we've got to reply to Paul. He wants to catch up with us. Gotcha. Yeah. How about sometime next week?
Yeah, and then there's that point. There's that point where you've got to not actually look up into the rearview mirror just out of respect while their parents are making out in the back. Just let them make out. Let them.
No. I've got something to bring.
You really didn't. You didn't want that.
I don't even know if I have this now.
But
it's just poor producing.
I had to do a long drive yesterday, though.
Oh yeah, you're doing a lot of long drives these days.
Well, this one was accidental. Yeah, Mel's in Wonthaggi, which is about 2 hours away as well.
Is that near Traralgon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't think so. It's near Cape Patterson, Phillip Island.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not near Traralgon. No.
And basically, you know, I had driven up a few times. Then Mel, Monday morning, leaves 5 a.m., drives to work in Wonthaggi, 2 hours. She was staying there for the week. See you next week. Unfortunately, the day before we'd been to something and I gave Mel my house keys.
Oh. So you're locked out.
And they had travelled with her all the way there. So
oh no.
So that was on Monday, and then but I had work in Melbourne Tuesday morning anyway. So
you spent the whole day driving.
So I drove up Monday afternoon / Monday night. Stayed the night, drove back in the morning.
What time do you have to leave?
Not that early, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
It was actually fine. But 2 hours. 2 hours both ways.
Yeah, you know, that's...
I stayed there. I was there for 12 hours.
Yeah. Essentially. Even though, like, that's obviously annoying.
Quite nice.
That's actually annoying, but it's, you know, it's fine. I would be okay with those drives because you pop a podcast on, pop some music on, right?
Actually was, yeah.
Friend of me and friend of the show, Keelan. You know Keelan?
I know Keelan, yeah.
You know, that guy, he's a wacky guy, okay?
Yeah.
You know, once, no joke, he's like, oh, yeah, like, because he was working in Canberra as for doing some video stuff for some politicians. Canberra's the capital of Australia, for those who don't know.
That's funny.
And he would drive up and down. And so, you know, he'd drive to Canberra probably, 9 hours, 10 hours in the car from Melbourne?
I think it's less than that.
But still, it's more than 2.
It's like 7. 6 or 7.
And so, you know, one day I'm like, hey, do you want to hang out today? He's like, Nah, I'm driving to Canberra. I left one of my cameras there, so I'm just driving up and back. I was like, Are you staying the night? No, I'm just going to drive up and get it and then drive back.
my
It's
God.
like 14 hours in the car.
Oh my God.
Here's another crazy person, friend of the show, Whitey. Do you know Whitey?
Yeah.
All right, people will not believe this, okay? Whitey, he was in Japan at the same time as us, right?
Yeah.
Now, he had a wedding of one of his friends, not a good friend, just a friend, in Melbourne. And he was in Japan with his family. And they had 2 nights left in Japan. So he flew down to Melbourne, went to this wedding from Tokyo to Melbourne. Then after the wedding, went straight to the airport, flew right back Melbourne to Tokyo to spend 2 more nights in Tokyo with his family. In economy. Is that not the most insane thing you could ever do?
Whitey, I'm flabbergasted. More for the cost?
Yes.
The cost?
Yeah.
Thing.
I mean, return flight Melbourne to Tokyo. Gee,
I
that's a lot.
mean, bloody, put some money in the Patreon.
Yeah,
account.
jump on the bloody Patreon.
Oh, like Patreon.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
wacky.
what's the longest commute you've ever done for a short amount of time?
Send it in. Hey, I did have something. Pop those headphones on, please. They're just underneath your chair.
Oh wow!
now-
you look underneath your seats.
There's a special pair of headphones.
Yeah, you've all got them.
This was sent in from Leon, who listens to our podcast. Thank you, Leon. Of course, a few weeks ago on the pod, there was that wholesome moment in which the characters sing "The Heat of the Moment" by Asia.
Yeah.
This was sent to me from Leon, which it does appear that I have actually taken this moment almost directly from another show.
Well, am I surprised?
Have a listen.
I'm sorry, I'm not the best speaker in the world. Maybe I can put it best in the words of a timeless song. I never meant you.
Oh my God!
One thing I said that I would never do.
One look from you and I
Oh my God! It's the exact.
and that would wipe the smile right from my face.
Do you remember when we used to dance? And incidents arose from circumstance.
One thing led to another, we were young, and we would scream together songs.
Here, get ready for it.
Here we go.
It was the heat of
The moment.
Telling me
what your heart meant.
The heat of the moment.
Shone in your eyes.
Oh,
Straight stolen.
and it was literally Dimmy, who's based on Cartman. It was not even slightly different. It was exactly the same.
I know.
So when you were singing that as Dimmy, were you like, wow, this sounds very
I
familiar?
was actually.
Were you like, this is genius?
Because I remember around this time I was watching every episode of South Park. I loved South Park, you know.
oh, what my God. Here I was like, that was quite good.
Quite a profound moment.
Listeners who didn't realize that was a South Park reference, were you all thinking, wow, this could be in a South, this is that good. It could be South Park.
Yeah. Actually, one of our Patreon supporters, one of our Patreonuses, sent me a message. They listened to last week's ep, which was the story of Winstonio Chargerello.
Oh,
and
yes.
He was in love and there was, you know.
Hey, Winstonio.
Hey, it's Winstonio Chargerello.
Winstonio, when you coming to marry my daughter?
And he said, I loved this episode. This background, the background story on Monsieur Charger was great. Did not expect in 100 years this book would make me feel things.
Oh,
That's quite beautiful,
that
isn't
is
it?
really nice.
Was anyone
it was a
brought to
very nice
tears?
story. Was that?
Was anyone brought to tears, do you think?
Oh, I thought you were like, when you said that to me, I was like, did you ask me to ask all the listeners? Because I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm asking the listeners.
Oh, was anyone brought to tears? I mean, we nearly were.
I nearly was. I cried after you
Yeah,
left.
yeah. I did too. Unrelated. Just about other things. Just about other things in my life.
Fucking hell. Do you have anything else? What have you got? You got any Harry Potter related?
Well, I just randomly, I kept sending. Yeah, I just kept sending things to the Harry Potter and the boys inbox.
yeah, which I never checked.
Yeah,
which
but
I
it's
recently
now
started.
more for me, just so I can.
as a log.
There was an interesting. Did you know? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was the first movie to feature a CGI animal pooing?
Is it Buckbeak?
Yeah.
Does Buckbeak
Buckbeak
poo
poos.
No.
Yeah. Buckbeak does a poo in the background.
Does he actually?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of that detail?
I don't know, just someone being like, "Oh, this will be funny." Should we look it up?
Has it been done since, a CGI animal pooing?
Well, probably.
That is a great fact.
Isn't it? Buckbeak does a poo. Literally, I mean, just anyone, if you want, just Google it.
Buckbeak does a poo is the title of this video.
Yep,
it's when Harry's approaching Buckbeak.
Yep.
It does a poo.
Yeah.
It just shamelessly poos.
Yep, Buckbeak does a poo right in that first.
It's actually two poos.
Yeah.
There's two pieces of poo that come out of the bottom.
Yeah.
That is insane.
So I mean, Harry Potter just groundbreaking in every way.
Harry Pooter.
Harry Poo. Oh well, there you go. Harry Plopper.
Harry Popper, probably better.
Yeah. And another thing I had watched. All these deleted scenes. Do you think you've seen all the Harry Potter deleted scenes?
I think I have, yes.
Because maybe I had seen this already, but I just forget about them all. There are some that I haven't seen. The one of we're in a Triwizard tournament.
Yeah.
When all the schools enter.
Yeah.
And there's a cutout scene where Dumbledore goes, "Well, students, let's show them what we're made of," and they sing the
you've
school
brought
song.
this up on the pod before a few years ago.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it before.
It is pretty absurd, isn't it?
It's so bad.
I'm so glad it didn't go
so
into
bad.
the Hogwarts, Hoggy Watty Hogwarts, teach us something, please. That is.
Oh, that's
so
why.
weird.
Because I probably brought it up because I was like, I think we were reading it. And I was like, wow, how do we all know the tune if it was never in the movies? And then like it was.
Also, I think Hermione sings it in Order of the Phoenix the when they're going into the forest with Hagrid to meet Grawp. I think I have a little inkling that happens.
I also showed you a kind of an AI mumble rap last week of Harry.
Didn't we play that on the show?
No, I just played it to you afterwards.
That was so funny. Maybe I'll play it in the next hour post.
Yeah.
Send your owls in.
That'd be good. Because it was quite funny and it was.
Yes, it was crazy.
It was Harry and Hagrid, and Hagrid said something about him and Grawp double teaming someone.
Oh God, that sounds like straight out of this.
That sounds like straight out of this bloody book.
Speaking of this bloody book,
yes,
shall we get to the double F?
Yeah, sorry everyone, we're just bloody chatting
yapping away. Yip, yappity, yippy.
I'm already planning tangents now because I know because I think I'm enjoying the chit chat so much that I want to continue, but it is a bit unfair if we don't get into this.
Yeah, but bring a tangent up whenever you like. It doesn't bother me. Sam, we pick up at chapter 48 today, just off the back of learning the truth about Monsieur Chargeur.
Chapter 48.
Chapter 48. I think there's 2 more chapters after this, and then we're at the end of the book.
That is actually quite crazy. I'm getting quite emotional now.
Which is actually good timing because you just told me you were going to be extremely busy for the next little while.
Yeah, but I will make sure that if we
There's
need
time for this.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think we'll take a break. We'll take maybe a week off, and then I'll do some hour posts or some other content.
Where can we find? Did an hour post go up this week already?
Well, at time of recording, no. At time of this being out, there was an hour post and Bella's essay
because I should know, but I swear I saw you posting something like there's an hour post.
I did. Okay, so yes, today I put up. There's an hour post out. It's not out today. It's out tomorrow, and I can't be bothered changing it. Okay. But by the time people are listening to this, it doesn't matter.
Because then I looked for it, and I was like, well, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's the power.
So
it
is out.
It's out now, but it's not out now.
If you're listening to this, it's out now.
Yes.
But if you're
listening to this from the apartment next door, it's not out now. Mm-hmm. But if you're listening to this in your headphones, it's out now. Mm-hmm. Sam, we pick up with chapter 48, which I think is actually chapter 49 because there was a double number chapter.
And let me quickly say before I read this is probably the best title I've seen because we didn't read it. We didn't read it.
No, we didn't. Okay. Well, do you want to start by reading the title of the chapter?
I've probably built it up a little bit too much.
Oh, well, see how they respond. They already know it.
Oh, yeah.
The listeners already know
I forget. I'm always the only one that doesn't know it.
Can I ask people, when you see the title of the chapter in the episode title, do you speculate? Are you like, oh, I bet it's about this? Or do you just kind of go with the flow? Anyway, send in your else.
You go.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
So, chapter 48. Hogswell the Wartswell. Hey, Hogswell the Wartswell.
It really feels like that this could be a good end of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, another day, another boobs.
It does feel like another day, another boobs.
Another day, another boobs at Hogwarts. Hey, Hogswell the Wartswell. It's actually quite... Say that 10 times fast.
Hogswell the Wartswell, Hogswell the Warts. Yeah, I'm not going to try.
Hogwarts the Wellwart. I mean, it doesn't really, Hogswell the Wartswell.
What is all's well that ends well?
Yes.
Hogswell that Wartswell.
And let us start the very first word of the chapter with a spelling error. Because you've written the with 2 T's. And both are capitalised, which is difficult to do.
Yeah. If you're holding down the shift key. Yeah.
It does say that you've done the shift, you haven't let autocorrect, back.
Fix it up. Yeah.
Because sometimes people just do the lowercase and you press space.
And it automatically. Yeah.
You've got no.
I'd never do that though.
And it might have been pre that.
It probably was pre that.
On Microsoft Word? Do you think they always did it? I don't know.
On Windows XP. Bloody Windows. Remember Windows XP?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the pinball game on Windows XP?
Do I?
Loved that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Loved it. I was going to say Minesweeper. I know you still play.
Oh, I love.
You still play
I'm a
Minesweeper.
champ. I'm a Minesweeper champ.
I did get into it recently. Anyway, let's with one word in. The boys were stunned and thought a lot about the revelations from Monsieur Charger's life. Even though they were full of questions, they decided that sometimes it's okay to let things go and not deal with them.
Because they're grappling with this guilt that this man died for them.
And this was a memory they saw through
Cheeseman Damo. Yeah.
But how did he
have the memory?
Was it a memory of a memory? Yeah,
no, remember he said if you do the horizontal tap enough, because the memories come from the seminal fluid.
Ah, yes.
And if you have enough of someone else's seminal fluid,
the elixir of life,
you may be able to have their memories, or in the real world, a baby.
That's true.
Yeah.
And maybe babies have memories that, we don't know about from another life. Okay. I love how I cleared my throat. I did the opposite of cleared my throat. I made it worse. I went and came back worse. Put them in a corner of your brain where you don't have to really ever think about them again. They didn't want to carry around the guilt that they recklessly and falsely accused their teacher of being a murderer, simply on the basis that they looked very similar, which, to be fair, was a reasonable mistake to make.
Yeah, it was reasonable. Yeah. More could have been done from Monsieur Charger to defend himself, I think.
Absolutely. They really look alike.
Yeah.
In my mind. Yeah. And in the drawing.
And in my mind. Oh, the drawing. I've got to get another artwork made by Dave Ferrier.
Yeah. Life.
That's in the book.
Mm-hmm. I guess before we leave, we should say goodbye to Neville, said Michael, as the boys aimlessly sat on the hill outside the school they usually sat on and were people watching. People watching them.
Just finishing up for the year.
Sam and Tom still weren't talking, which was also annoying, I guess. Yeah. Making their way up to the headmaster's office, the boys said the password to get past the statue of Griffin, in brackets, huge tits gigantus. That's the password.
Oh my God, huge tits gigantus.
So that's, do you reckon Neville's put that password in, or is that Harry's password?
Left over from Harry, probably.
Yeah. And so instead of sherbet lemon.
Yeah.
Sherbet lemon.
Yeah, well, Dumbledore loved Muggle candy.
That's true.
Harry loved female body parts.
That's so true. Huge tits gigantus. And
Ferravento. Huge tits gigantus.
And when they entered the office, they were surprised, in fact, to not see Neville Longbottom there after all.
Oh.
In fact, again, right by the door were several garbage bags with the labels Neville Longbottom stuff for burning and disintegration. Even some photos of him as a child with his parents that there are no copies of and are very sentimental to him. Oh, boys, welcome. Hey, do you mind taking some of those bags of Neville's stuff on your way out and throwing them in the lake? It's very cluttered in here. It was Harry Potter. Hey! That's where the crowd goes, hey!
He's back.
Yeah. Well, it was Harry Potter, who was carefully rearranging some of the paintings on the wall of his office, placing various portraits of naked ladies in sexually suggestive poses around,
Oh.
and taking down various portraits of previous school headmasters that were tradition in the headmaster's office.
It's like, like sometimes you go to a bar and it's just like there's just lots of like naked lady portraits on the wall.
Yeah.
You ever been to a bar like that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've been to ones where like the bathrooms are like
Yeah.
labeled like that,
Yeah.
and that's confusing.
It's interesting.
Some bathrooms try to do too much with their like
Decor.
and or even just labeling.
Yes. Oh, mate, I totally agree.
There was one. Oh god, because sometimes they just do the letter, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's, because you're talking about the standard, you've got the male
or
and
female, unisex, whatever.
Yeah, yes.
But some do M and F, male and female. I've seen the ones that do like madams.
Yes.
It's like
Some
and
might
M.
just do gents, ladies.
I've seen one that says gentle ladies, and I was like, well, that's
confusing. And then the thing is, some try to do it in theme with whatever type of establishment they are. Like, say, this is a stupid one. Say, like a Western themed bar would be like cowboys, cowgirls, or
lasses.
Lasses.
I'm like,
lassies.
I'm like, is a
sheilas.
lasser? And then I go, is a lasser guy?
Sometimes I'm second guessing myself.
I've got to find a specific one because there was one I walked into the wrong bathroom. I was like, they've labeled this like so bad.
Yeah. I've done that a few times where the theming gets in the way of the usability of the bathroom.
And that is the defense I'm sticking with while I was in there. Anyway. All right, let's move on.
Where are we? Okay.
So he's putting the portraits away.
Yes.
Don't you even think about it, said the portrait of Professor Snape, as Harry grasped the corners trying to unhook it from the wall. But Professor, I have a full naked picture of 17 girls I want to put up instead. Come on. You understand, don't you? Harry said again. Did he say that again? It was the first time. So I have a full naked picture of 17 girls I want to put up. Okay, sure.
Wow.
The portrait of Professor Snape began responding and explaining why he thought it was a very idea.
Very idea.
The portrait of Professor Snape began responding and explaining why he thought it was a very idea to break Hogwarts tradition and remove portraits of former headmasters for portraits of naked ladies. But while he was talking, Harry simply took the portrait. Yeah, it is good.
It is a very idea, Mr. Potter, to take down the traditional Hogwarts paintings
Celebrity.
for naked ladies.
I love it. But while he was talking, Harry took the portrait of Snape off the wall and began violently shaking it, causing Professor Snape's portrait to flop around, hitting the edges of the frame, bumping his head, his elbows, his knees, and basically becoming knocked unconscious. That'll look after him for a while. You never thought you could do that.
But you guess you can.
What is that, like it's like a snow globe or like a...
Yeah. Like, I guess they're affected by the gravity of the painting.
So, Harry, I don't think it's a very good idea for you to... No! Harry reached for another portrait and, as promised, he placed a full naked picture of 17 ladies on the wall and began asking them for advice. So how can we make Hogwarts a better school for all the students, ladies?
How can we, guys?
That is quite funny because he didn't... When he's putting the naked... Because you asked the portraits for advice.
Yeah, you're supposed to ponder the advice of the
But we never thought he'd be asking the naked ladies for advice.
We thought he'd be admiring their beauty.
Mm-hmm. The ladies started giving Harry genuine and informative strategies to improve Hogwarts for the students, which Harry noted down, while also getting a slight stiffy. But keeping it professional.
Oh, that's good.
Is it possible to keep it professional while getting a slight stiffy?
I mean, I don't know.
It reminds me of something that we couldn't even put on the Patreon. We cut something out of the Patreon and...
Don't continue that. Don't continue that. And it's not about any of us.
No, it's... No, oh, wow. No, it's not. But that's why if it was about us, we probably wouldn't have had to cut it out.
Yeah, true.
Okay. The portrait of Professor McGonagall frowned. The portrait of Professor Dumbledore shrugged his shoulders at the cameras and winked. Professor Potter, what are you doing here? Asked Rob, slightly taken aback at the absurdity of the situation. Oh, you boys are still here? Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news, Harry said quaintly. Is that quaint? Okay, go on. said Derek. Derek said harumphley.
Oh.
Harumphley.
Is that a word?
I reckon it is.
Someone look it up.
Go on. That feels like harum. Isn't that a? It feels like you'd be in a old thing about either
Like an
elephants, harum,
yeah.
or frog. One. Oh, that's galump.
Galump, yeah. Galump, gloom. I don't know.
What's that frog song?
We all know frogs go la-di-da-di-da.
No, I'm thinking crazy frog.
No, you were thinking
I
that's
was thinking that.
Old Australian classic kids song.
Crazy frog. Okay, go on. The good news is I'm headmaster again, said Harry. Wow. And what's the bad news? Lockie asked. Bad news? Who said anything about bad news? This is a time for celebration, boys. Celebration. I am headmaster. Neville's reign of absolute terror is over, and it was you boys that gave me the courage to go to the ministry about him. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Now, let's celebrate, Harry said, who removed his dressing gown so he was just in his undies.
He was in a dressing gown.
Was that?
Well, we didn't know he was in a dressing gown until just now.
So he was just in his undies and began dancing wildly around the office with martini in his hands, while the naked ladies also drank martinis, and one of them with a margarita. Why was that so important?
I don't know.
Martinis and a margarita, like it's not that aesthetically different, as in it is, but it's just like a different color,
Slightly different, yeah.
Yeah,
It's important.
It's a different drink, but it's
important to know.
Well, actually, to be honest, Neville was pretty much exactly the same as you, so I don't see why Gemini began. Up, 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 up. Harry put his finger up to Gemini's mouth to indicate be quiet. Up,
That's
up, 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 up,
very
up.
inappropriate. But he actually touched his lips.
Please don't touch my mouth. But Gemini's right, Sam began. Boxley Washington said you could only be headmaster again if you did something amazing for the school. And, well, you didn't? Didn't I? Asked Harry, shimmying and shaking his body to the beat of the music that wasn't playing. So he's like, oh, didn't I? Didn't I? I love Harry.
Me too.
Did you? Said Tom. Suddenly, another person emerged from underneath Harry's desk, only dressed in undies. Who could this be?
I don't know. Neville?
Possibly.
Could be Nev.
Okay.
Cheeky Nev.
Or is it Boxley Washington?
Could be Boxley.
Okay, we're going to
Could be
flick.
Cheese Man.
We're going to flick the page.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Do
should
you want to lock in one? My one
I'll
guess
lock
is
in Neville.
I'm going to go Boxley.
Okay. Ah.
He was a portly older man with a chubby body and greying hair. It was Minister? Said the boy. The boys all said in unison. So that's Boxley, right?
Well done. I
Yeah.
assume so, yes.
And no, you're Boxley Washington.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Harry, last night was spectacular. Boys!
He jumped behind a plant to hide his nudity. He was in underwear. That's still,
I guess
it's
it's
still embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I love that he was like, how big is this desk, by the way?
Yeah.
There's always people under the desk.
Man can be under it.
And not notice other people are in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, true. There's a whole tunnel under
Maybe
there.
it's like the tents they have.
Yeah.
Or like the back. Yeah.
Do you reckon the closet to Narnia was like the tents?
Yeah. Wow.
Same universe, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, you never know.
What is going on? Asked Derek. Yeah, you did absolutely nothing for the school. Nothing even remotely amazing, Luke said. Let's reframe that. Why do you say I did nothing? Who saved you from the attack from the Commentors? Harry asked. Well, Michael began, Derek was amazing and used the Patrocum charm and shot out the gooey owl. That helped us. Harry said. So how'd Derek learn the Patrocum charm? Professor Damo taught us, Rob said. Harry said. And who hired Professor Damo? You, I suppose, Lockie said. What else, boys? Come on, Harry said. Monsieur Chargeur literally died for us. He sacrificed himself to save us, said Michael. And who hired Monsieur Chargeur? Harry said. You, said Lockie. Ooh, interesting. And what about Socky? Harry asked. Well, Socky ended up being Mr. Charger in disguise. Yep. And who let Socky into the school? This guy. Which meant Mr. Charger could spirit jump into Socky, which meant that you boys could feasibly believe that Monsieur Charger was Mr. Charger, which meant that you wouldn't trust him, which also allowed Professor Damo to, in some way, be reunited with the love of his life, and you not trusting Monsieur Charger meant that his sacrifice and death ultimately means more to you guys than as you realise not only the fragility of life and how quickly it can all be over, but also an important lesson in not judging a book by its cover and giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'll say it again. Give people the benefit of the doubt, boys. You see, not everything is always as it seems, and you don't know everything as much as you seem to think you do. Oh, and who do you think tipped off Piano Jones about what was going on that night to get him to fall one more time? This guy. Harry pointed at himself. So basically, boys, you say I haven't done anything to help the school? But really, I put all the wheels in motion to have your lives saved and to teach you an important lesson. All orchestrated by the best headmaster Hogwarts has ever seen.
I think at the end of book 2 as well, Harry kind of retroactively claimed that the whole Team Wizard tournament was actually set up by him to teach the boys a lesson as well.
It's like all kind of tied up in a nice, neat little package, isn't it? Perfect. He's like, oh, my job's done here. But you didn't have to put any of those wheels in motion. You didn't have to teach us any of those lessons. You literally didn't have to make a human sacrifice in Monsieur Charger to teach us some stupid lesson about not judging a book by its cover. Nobody had to die, Derek said. Didn't they? Harry said, winking. Didn't they?
You know what this, I want to say this feels like almost the author is trying to parody like the wacky stuff, not the wacky stuff, but the stuff Dumbledore does and then kind of claims like, actually, it was all part of the plan. Cedric had to die. Like all of this stuff had to happen. When,
Yeah, and he would just say something cryptic like, well, home is where your heart
home is where the light is on, Harry. Don't forget to leave it on.
The light, that is.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's a send up of that.
Yeah.
But, let's go on.
Yeah, what else is Dumbledore? Anyway, whatever. We all know Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Didn't they, Harry said, winking.
No.
Everybody said, including the portrait of Professor Snape, which had just regained consciousness. No.
No.
Whatever. The point is, it was all me. And it was all for you, boys. And I'll be honest, I've got a lot more lessons planned for you in the next book. Of course, I won't have Socky in the next book. And yes, I'll have to hire a few new staff. But it'll be worth it to teach you boys to be the best you can be. Anyway, when I explained to Boxley all the wheels I'd set into motion this year and the chain reaction of all those events that led to you boys being alive, paired in with 3 or 4 or 58 blowjobs in the meantime, he was more than happy to remove Neville from the headmaster post, as Harry said. 3 or 4 or 58 blowjobs.
Yeah, also, I can't really remember.
Jeez, for Boxley, watching a guy of his age, 58.
To be going 58.
Jesus.
58.
Oh my God.
Jesus, most people would be more than that lucky getting that in a year.
Oh, bloody hell. After 58, his dick would just be like anyway, let's not.
There's nothing in there.
Yeah. But you literally didn't seem to understand that you didn't need to save our lives because the thing you saved our lives from was all your own... Harry...
But they're right. They're saying... What you were saying, you made all this happen.
Yeah.
So we were never in danger unless you did this stuff.
He's like, I kind of took the crazy person in my sock, and then I let you believe that this guy was the evil person, and he wasn't. And then when the evil person died, you were actually a bit like, oh, geez.
Maybe we should be more careful and ask more questions next time. It's curiosity, Harry. Yeah. That is the true magic. That's something Dumbledore would say. I wanted you to learn curiosity. It's magic. Okay. I'll do the line and you do the up. Thing you saved us from our lives from was all your own.
Harry put his finger to Michael's mouth to hush him, and then began drunkenly swaying as the song "Green Tambourine" started playing.
Do you know that song? Green Tambourine?
Is it like Yellow Submarine?
No. Oh, maybe a little bit. It's like an old, it's like a 70s, like psychedelic song.
How does it go?
It's like, oh, the battery on the camera died. That's all right.
Okay.
It's like, listen while I play my green tambourine. And it's like,
We all live in a yellow submarine.
it's like, drop your silver in my tambourine. It's very Beatles, like that psychedelic Beatles sound.
Like Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't sound a lot like Yellow
I think
Submarine.
these might be the same song.
It's not by the Beatles.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
He started playing, and Harry took a tambourine out of his butthole and said, "Dance with me. Come on, boys, let it all out. Be a hippie. Be a hippie with me." This is right. I'm like, you say up. Dance it all out.
Be a hippie.
Yeah, just be happy with me. Yeah. Harry began singing.
I'll put the music in the
Oh,
background.
okay. Drop your silver in my tambourine. Help a poor man build a pretty dream.
Have you never heard the song? Oh,
Give me pennies, I'll take anything.
that was a bit wrong.
Now listen while I play my green tambourine.
The first two lines were perfect.
Okay.
So it's like we'll do it together. Drop your silver in my tambourine. Help a poor man build a pretty dream. Give me pennies, I'll take anything. Now listen while I play my green tambourine. Oh, be a hippie with me.
And he swayed over each of the boys with each line and was sexually shaking his hips while tapping the tambourine in time with the music. It was a very sensual environment in the office as all the naked ladies in the portraits also began swaying nakedly. Some of their boobs also shaking naturally.
That's nice. That's a nice image.
Only if they want it. I guess they've consented.
Well,
There was a smoke machine filling the room and disco lights that created a smoggy haze that felt intoxicating. And the smell of marijuana filled the room.
Oh.
I feel like the disco lights are probably unnecessary. That vibe.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make it as
Essential.
yeah.
You move more like mood lighting,
Yeah.
I think, and candles.
And the smell of marijuana is quite. Makes me feel sick.
Yeah, but it doesn't suggest that anyone's smoking it. It's just the aroma.
Someone must have been.
Yeah,
smoking.
but that's not necessarily true.
So they're all drum my pennies in my tambourine. Come on, boys.
Well, only Harry is doing it.
Yeah. Michael began swaying with Harry, followed by Boxley, who was mindlessly swaying along, also in some kind of heightened drunken state.
So so Harry Potter's had like a marijuana filled party with Boxley, and they're still sort of in it.
They're in just undies. I imagine they're in tidy whities, like white, just white undies.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's not a tidy whitey. Whitey, he's not
No,
tight
he's
at all.
not tight, he's loose.
He's loose. He's just spending money
Returning
like
trips
it's
to
nothing.
Tokyo twice.
God.
Bloody hell.
All of the boys began swaying in a hippie-like fashion, which felt fitting for the end of the year.
Did it?
Boxley spoke.
Harry, I'm looking forward to a great new year. And Neville's new job as poo cleaner. Neville's new job as poo cleaner in the toilets will be great for his character building.
Boxley, you're a beautiful man. Don't you ever bloody forget it, Harry said, grabbing Boxley by the face and passionately kissing him on the lips. Boxley, you're a beautiful man. Don't you ever bloody forget it. Get in here.
Come here.
Come here, you. The camera's off, but me and Mike did kiss. The music continued.
Professor Perry,
Dimmy began.
there is blood coming out of your butthole. Just don't you like to know?
He just pulled a full tambourine out of there. And those little cymbals are...
True, they'd be sharp.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah.
Those tiny little... Yeah. Harry was rushed to the hospital wing immediately and treated in an emergency surgery. Thankfully, it was nothing serious, but it is always better to be safe than sorry. Hogs well and Warts well. End of chapter.
Wow.
So
I guess that whole
was that a
chapter
short
was just-
chappy? Or no.
I don't know.
So the whole chapter was
Harry's headmaster now.
Harry's
And he's
headmaster
back to
again.
his old tricks.
and the way that happened, he didn't even have to do anything good. He just kind of
He
sucked off
claims that-
Boxley.
Well, he claims it's because he set up all of this to teach the boys a lesson.
I guess in a way he did.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I guess that's Hogswell at Wartswell.
Hogswell at Wartswell. Good night, everybody.
Dumbledore, you kind of... It's like middle of the day. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Well,
Go see Professor McGonagall.
A night comes when one most needs it. Doesn't it, Harry? Think about that. I feel like that is...
We should do a whole podcast of like things Dumbledore would say.
Yeah.
Dumbledore, my scar's hurting. Pain is only the pathway to learning, Harry. Do another one.
Dumbledore, you've been avoiding me all year. Where have you been?
Avoidance only makes relationships grow fonder, Harry.
Wouldn't you say we're all where we're meant to be at the time we most need it?
I was not avoiding you, Harry. I was simply where I was supposed to be in those moments. Now, if you excuse me, I could go a light brandy.
Those at Hogwarts always find who they're looking for when they look the most inside, when they need them. And so.
Professor Dumbledore, sir, they've sentenced Buckbeak to death.
Death will only come to those who truly fear it. And Buckbeak, another chapter yet to be filled.
Give me one.
What? So Quirrell was Voldemort all along?
No, Harry. Voldemort was Voldemort. Quirrell just got lost in Voldemort. And now he's suffered the ultimate price. Death. Now, if you'll excuse me, I could go a sherbet lemon.
How did no one know he was Voldemort? Well, Harry, not knowledge.
Just fucking say the answer.
Knowledge and feeling is something that we all look for. And
what one man knows, others will not. And thus is why love is so important, Harry. Love. Your mother died for you.
Quirrell's soul, whilst not fully intact, must have left a mark by Voldemort. Not unlike the mark you got.
Harry, we have a new student. His name is Mark. Not unlike the mark that you have on your forehead. I'll leave you two to talk because I need a brandy.
Yeah. Okay. What
Do you think Dumbledore was drunk?
Yeah. Dumbledore. Look, the teachers are all up in arms. They haven't had a pay rise in 4 years, and their workload's more than doubled.
What one man values in money, true men value in learning, Harry.
Right. Well, right. It's just, they might value the learning if they were paid adequately. Okay.
The learning they get from teaching the students of Hogwarts enriches them more than any galleon.
The true riches. Yeah.
The true riches. All right, we have to go.
Sorry. Yeah. I think that could have been cut down to about 30 seconds.
Oh, we're keeping it.
Yeah. Okay.
Goodbye, amores.
A farewell today is the hello of another day. I think I've had too many brandies.
Don't.
Come and give me a kiss, Harry.
Get the bucket. Get the bucket. I'm gonna vomit.
Get the bucket.